Ever since I got back from Ireland and studying abroad, I've been living with my parents, which has been lovely. And I'm absolutely obsessed with my job. I work out at a wildlife reservation right now, which is like my dream job. The problem is that that job is very season-based. It's fine, it's a seasonal job, I knew that coming into it. But my dumbass thought, I have so much experience within the sustainability and animal welfare fields, I could get a job no problem. I'm just gonna be there for the summer, I'll get a job. No, I have a spreadsheet of all of the jobs that I have applied to recently, and oh my God, it's just growing. And half the companies I don't even hear back from. It's been really frustrating and I'm ready to move out. Now that I have filled the hole that I created in my bank account when I was studying abroad, we're back to like square one, which means that I need to find a job. But I also am trying to no avail. So today I was feeling really down and I woke up and I was like, wow, nobody wants to hire me. This is crazy. And my point is that I'm done sitting in the pity party. I have tried and have failed thus far, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna fail forever. So today I'm gonna do, what a responsible person would do, and I'm gonna go on a little adventure. I'm going to pick myself up out of my little sad hole and move on. And by that, I mean, we're gonna go to a coffee shop, we're gonna grind out some work applications, we're gonna just sit there until I feel like I've applied to all the things, and then we're gonna see what happens. On the drive over there, I figured I would talk about some of the things that have allowed me to travel so much and the ways that I am able to travel and the methods through which I, find places to stay when I'm traveling and all that good stuff. With that, I'm going to shower, I'm going to dress up, I'm going to make it feel like it's a day. Like we used to do during COVID, we would be like, oh, but like, at least I put pants on today. At least Anyway. So I'm gonna go put pants on, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna put pants on, I'm gonna dress up, I'm gonna take myself out to coffee, we're gonna grind out some work applications, we're gonna have a chat in the car about travel and about that kind of lifestyle, and let's go. Okie dokie, that's my outfit for coffee. I washed my hair. Okay. You can go on the couch. Go on the couch. Okay. My dog's afraid of everything. This is my cute little sack. Ta-da. I got this for my birthday and then I brought it to the farmer's market, and like the day after I got it, and I spilled strawberries all on it, and then I had to scrub it so hard that some of the color came out of it, and now I hold it this way. That's okay. This is my sick bag. We're gonna do job applications, we're gonna edit videos, and we're gonna have a productive day, and we're gonna have a good day because it's gonna be a good day. End of story. Anyway, while I wait for a text back from my situationship, we're gonna go apply for jobs. It is a gorgeous day in October, which I'm kind of pissed off about, to be completely honest. It's not supposed to. I did want to talk about the way that I am able to travel so much, because I feel like it's cool to be able to do that. And I feel very lucky to be able to do that. There's a fine line, right, between this is awesome and I'm so grateful that I am able to travel so much versus just like, haha, look at me, like suckers, and I don't want to ever do that. So I want to talk about how I am able to travel so much, and a lot of it actually has to do with the people that I know. So I have friends and family members that work for airlines, and that actually gets me access to some really cool travel perks. There are like friends and family passes for standby travel. So while I'm able to fly a lot, I do not get the normal things that happen when it comes to flying. So I generally, I don't get to pick my seat. I don't know that I'm gonna make it on the flight. I'm flying standby, so if the plane is full, sucks to suck. I could get stuck at the airport and, be out of a flight or have to wait for the next flight, which could be who knows how long, and all sorts of stuff like that. I only get a personal item, not a carry-on and a personal item. So I am bringing a backpack, I'm bringing a smaller bag that fits under the seat,
and stuff like that. With that as well though, I do also get some travel perks, like my credit card has really helped me out a lot. I get 3 times points on any sort of travel, which is why I have the specific credit card that I do have. So if I go eat out, I get 3 times points. If I spend money on travel agencies, so when I do book those standby flights that can be, you know, as low as like 50 bucks, I think $52 was like the lowest standby flight that I've ever been on in terms of cost. And when I went over to Spokane recently, I flew. I am in like the Seattle area, so doing the math, it actually would have cost me more in gas driving there than it was gonna for me to fly. So yes, I fly a lot, but it actually makes more sense for me to fly sometimes in terms of not only time, but also it can be cheaper. So when you fly standby, that is definitely a perk. But then again, you know, you're not really getting the full like flight experience. Also, if you're interested in like going to the lounges, if you want to travel with that kind of like higher end luxury availability for you, if you are on a standby flight, they will not let you into the lounges until you have been assigned a seat. So if you are on a flight that is a little bit tighter on, you know, seating, then you're probably not going to be able to go into the lounges, and you're stuck with, you know, a really, really expensive airport food. But if you're like me, you just pack snacks. So again, it's all kind of a give and take, because it just kind of depends on what kind of traveler you are. If you really need to like know that you have a seat on that flight, know where you're sitting in ahead of time, know that you're gonna have a personal item and a carry-on bag. If you're traveling heavy, if you have that want to do the lounge experience before you go fly, all that good stuff, that doesn't really come with standby. I have had travel experiences where I do get a seat way before, and I am able to hit the lounge before I go to the plane, but that's not always the case. It's often not the case. I'm usually like one of the last people to board. So it can really just kind of depend on what you want out of your travel experience, because everybody's different, and there's absolutely no shame and no shade for people who are like, yes, I want my carry-on and my personal item. Yes, I want my lounge experience. I want to know where I'm sitting, all that good stuff. So it is just an option that helps me travel lighter and helps me travel more often. And my credit card has been really helpful for that as well, getting extra points on travel specific things. So when I do spend money, it is, you know, still going back onto my credit card to pay that off or whatever I choose to do with those points as well. So it does kind of help lighten the load a little bit also. And then I would say I'm also able to travel so much because I have friends that are living in different places. I have a friend that lives in Northern California. I have a friend that lives in Southern California. I have friends that kind of live all over in the in-between. I have a friend that lives in Berkeley. I have a friend that, you know, lives in Spokane, Washington, which is why I was able to travel over there and stay for free. Of course, my recommendation is always to go, when you go visit your friends, pay for their dinner, pay for their groceries for that week. Do something that kind of like, you know, helps show that you appreciate that you're recognizing that they are taking the time and effort out of their day to host you. And that's always my recommendation for if you are staying with friends. It's the little things, leveraging, you know, the people that you know that are willing to host you for a couple days even can be really helpful, because it cuts down on, you know, accommodation costs. But I would also say Airbnbs can be so expensive, and a lot of the time it is cheaper to go through a rewards program or a membership program to get hotels for cheaper even. So again, it just depends on what kind of experience you want to have, but those are kind of the top few things of how I'm able to travel so much. But specifically when I was in Europe, our travel was really cheap because once you get over there, the flights are insanely cheap. So we used to get flights for 16 euros from Ireland to Spain, you know, and it is, you know, not a great flight experience if I'm being honest, but you know, it's part of the story. And if you want to do it, do it. If you really lock down your spending and you don't get your coffee every week like I'm doing right now, and you know, you don't kind of spend that excess cash, if you save it and you stack it away instead. I used to tell myself before I went off to Ireland, I used to like actively tell myself, you know, when I thought, oh, I want to go get like boba or whatever, I would tell myself, do I want to get boba here or do I want to get boba in Ireland? And then I would go, you know what, I want to get boba in Ireland. I'm just gonna like make some tea at home or something. And then I would take that $10 that I was gonna spend that day and put it in my fund for Ireland. So it really is about prioritizing your travel, but also it doesn't have to be as expensive as everybody says it is. And I understand that I come from a point of privilege of knowing people that work within that industry, so I don't ever want to sound like, you know, absolutely everybody can do it. I understand it's not something that everybody can do, but there are definitely ways that you can do it that make it a lot less expensive and a lot less heavy on the wallet. So I hope that's helpful, but I'm gonna go get my coffee now and do my job applications. I left the coffee shop. I applied for jobs until my eyeballs felt like they were gonna fall out, and then I said, okay, it's time to leave now. Well, thank you for sticking around and hanging out with me. I do have some good news. I did get a job. And I think it is a job that I did apply for that day, which is kind of cool. It was really a shot in the dark. I didn't know if they were gonna accept me, but they did. And so I have a job now. Those vlogs will come soon, I promise. Still trying to settle into having, you know, this job in these crazy hours, which has been really fun and super awesome, but I feel like I simultaneously have all the time in the world and also no time at all. Thanks for sticking around. I hope my travel tips were a little helpful, and I have a lot of travel that is being preemptively planned for this coming year, which is awesome, but I did want to just close it out. If there's anything that you want to see or want to know about, you know, other ways to travel and stuff like that, or if you have any other questions about travel in general, please let me know. If you have questions about studying abroad, please let me know still. I'm still here to answer questions about that and talk about my experience for forever and always, because it's so much fun, and I love, you know, helping people figure out a way to hopefully be able to do the same. Thanks for sticking around. I will see you next time. Oh. Sick. I'm starting to go crazy. And c'est la vie. I like the fall. Where am I going? Alas, it's okay. What was my point? Ow. Let's go. It's gonna be a great day.